The Crypto Street podcast is hosted by Crypto Dale, Prince, and Killer Whale, who can be found on Twitter at CryptoDale, at Killer Whale, K1LLERWH4LE, and at 13Prince31. None of this should be construed as investment advice. For information on how to join our private Telegram group, The Pod, please email tcsp@protonmail.com. The Crypto Street podcasts are officially sponsored by 21 Cryptos, the world's first and only cryptocurrency trading magazine. Visit 21cryptos.com and enjoy 50-plus pages of pro tips and predictions, an analysis of the best 21 coins to invest in for the month, trading lessons and articles from your favorite pros, price action event calendars, entertainment, and lots more. Stay ahead of the game and get your copy today. Visit 21cryptos.com.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Street Podcast. Welcome. My name's Crypto Dale. As always, I'm joined by my usual co-host, Killer Whale.
Good morning.
Prince.
What's up, guys?
Today, we kind of decided to flip the switch a little bit. Normally, we don't have our usual Twitter big dog on. We decided to invite someone that's pretty new to the Twitters or to the crypto scene. We've got Pro Donut 1 is his Twitter handle with joining us today. Welcome, man. Thank you.
What's going on, everybody?
We decided to kind of...
Good to have you.
Yeah, it's great to have a new person here. We wanted to put this podcast out to kind of help everybody educate themselves here in the crypto space. So we decided to flip the card a little bit, have someone newer on that they can ask us questions as they, new to the space and see what kind of questions they have for us. So Pro Donut, why don't you go ahead and give us maybe a little background on yourself? What got you into crypto? What's intriguing about it to you? And just a little bit about yourself. Go ahead.
So I originally got into crypto. I was actually using it to send payments to a poker site online because online poker is banned in America. So I didn't really think much about it, only as like a way to pay. All I thought there was Bitcoin. I didn't know there were other coins and stuff like that. So I was sending those payments, and then on the poker site, you pay, and then they give out Bitcoin. So I turned like $20 into $600 playing poker.
Damn.
And then I withdrew, and I've been using that money to invest.
There you go.
So a big poker fiend. Have you listened to the last episode with Donnie on it?
Yeah, I just did listen to that, actually.
I was going to say, that's a theme with, I was talking to one of my buddies who's like a very big gambler. He gambles on a lot of EPL, and I was telling him how there's a lot of overlap between the crypto community and the gambling community. I think for exactly the reason you stated, it's very easy, using crypto to kind of, just makes it easier to place the bets you want to place, I'll say.
Poker players make good traders. There's a ton of them.
That's true, too. The psychological aspect of
the patience that they
is
have,
very similar.
Yeah.
There's a lot of,
and it's a similar game where it's a mental sort of thing against other people.
There's a lot of overlap where poker players mainly play to like gain independence and freedom and whatnot, and it's a lot of the same in crypto.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like actively trading, or do you find yourself more just buying and holding?
More buying and holding.
Yeah.
Maybe for like a week or so, a few days.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. By the way, that's the definition of buy and hold now. It's like a few days. Or like
I was going to say that same thing too.
Which is like pretty short term.
That's crypto though for you.
But in crypto, totally. A week is what, 10 years in the stock market, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally our returns on a given day are what the stock market average is probably in like 8 months to a year.
Yeah.
Historically.
So Donut, how long have you been in crypto? Or actively trading?
Actively trading?
Yep.
Only a few weeks. So when I had that initial Bitcoin, some poker player on Twitter shilled OMG. So I bought some OMG with that, and it did nothing.
Naturally.
Naturally, yeah.
So I lost all those Bitcoin gains I could have had, and I decided I didn't want this coin anymore. So I just decided to trade, and it's been working out.
Let me tell you about this coin called Lux.
Oh God.
I own Lux coin.
Ah, good man.
Wonder why.
Because I bought it at
was that a Dale recommendation?
Yeah, did you get that from following me?
Someone on Twitter showed it to me. So
it's done probably pretty well for you.
Yeah, it has.
Sweet.
I gave out in the pod. I gave out some for a little Christmas present, and it was last Friday. I gave it out. Sent 10 to anybody that sent me their address, and Sunday I was getting DMs from everybody saying, "Holy shit, the $20 free thing because I told everyone, go buy some, go to supper, buy some drinks, do whatever floats your boat." And someone emailed me or messaged me back and said that dinner at McDonald's has turned into a dinner at some fucking fancy restaurant now.
Mastro's.
So Donut, this all I want is $1 million and a bad bitch. I take it you're not married or anything?
No, I'm 20 years old.
Fucking
20,
right.
yeah, represent.
Damn. Milky, is that you?
Milky? So, okay. Been in actively trading a couple of weeks. I'm not trying to sound like we're big dogs here, but I sent out a DM or a tweet saying, if you're new to crypto in the last 2 to 4 months, send me a message. I have something for you. So, and I got literally 30 DMs, I'd say, within 15 seconds. So the floor is yours. Ask away. What questions do you have for us? Killers and Prince have been in this for a year and a half. Go ahead. What do you got?
All right. So I thought I'd start off with the CME Futures.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really sure what that's all about, and I'm just wondering what it means for crypto.
That's paving our way to get bigger money into the markets almost, right? So one thing that a lot of deep pockets are having an issue with dealing with is the exchange risk. So a lot of money can't, whether they're managing people's money, they can't really get in, or they don't want to because they're scared of leaving money on these exchanges to do their trading. And that's kind of becoming an increasing issue with a lot of people who want to get in. So now we have these futures opening up. So that just opens up this door, a whole new bit of money that can come into it, right? With a lot more confidence, because now they can use an exchange that, is tried and tested through the years, right?
Yeah, so that kind of brings up a good point, is new people, you should not keep money on an exchange if at all possible.
Yeah.
Do not store your money there. Get your money there to make trades. If you're somebody who likes to actively trade, then obviously you're going to have some money parked on an exchange as collateral or what have you. But you shouldn't get into the habit of keeping money there. You should have it on a hardware wallet. Mm-hmm. I really think Coinbase is actually a pretty good place to store your money. I mean, people, for some reason, give it a lot of shit online.
Yeah, if you're new,
but I really do think it's...
start out.
Yeah, I think it's one of the safer spots, especially with how noob friendly it is. But the CME futures, the prevailing wisdom on these has been that they are going to be extremely positive. A ton of money is going to rush into the space, and that's what I tend to believe too. But I'm always kind of, we talked about this before, but I'm a little bit wary of just a lot of more smart money coming into play. I think it's going to be tougher to trade these markets. And I think if you're if you're somebody who actively trades them, the game is going to change a little bit. And I mean, we did talk to Michael Oved, who said, in his opinion, that the big institutional money is about a year, maybe a half a year to a year away. So with that in mind, I don't think you have to be too concerned. But I'm not entirely sure, but I lean that it's going to be slightly bullish.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to watch. Grab the popcorn, pretty much. And two, with a lot of these, they're not going to be trading 24/7, 7 days a week, right? These futures, compared to the rest of the markets, from my understanding anyways, they won't be. So, watching how this potential ARB plays can work out, where, we're probably going to see exchanges with different prices than these futures. It's going to be quite a new experience, I think, for everyone who's involved, even if they're on Wall Street saying they've never really gotten into this. Just seeing how this is all going to play out, it's kind of comes back to what Bitcoin is. It's just this huge economic experiment. Well, these futures are kind of like, a new experiment, because I don't think they've really had to deal with something like this before. So.
Yeah, and these futures also have some characteristics that people have to be mindful of. They have a lot of kind of circuit breakers in them,
7%
where
or
if the
something.
volatility exceeds a certain point, they stop trading essentially. And I don't think they've really set these parameters wide enough for the volatility that Bitcoin and crypto experience. And if you look at like the past week or two, these circuit breakers would have been triggered really often if these things had been trading the past week. So we'll see how this plays out. They might have to make some changes to them. We'll see if people prefer futures versus Bitcoin itself. I think it's going to be a battle of traditional money preferring futures because it's more traditional. It's more closer to their standard way of operating with traditional custodians versus, people who are more independent, more kind of buy into the whole crypto mindset who want to be independent and be their own bank.
Absolutely.
What else you got there, Donut?
All right, so I was I think it was a few days ago when the price started like flying up, I noticed that the Bitcoin prices were very varied among different exchanges.
Yeah.
And so like on Coinbase, it was
almost hit like
a few
$20,000
higher. Yeah.
Yeah, and Finex was sitting at like $16K or something like that.
And I was just wondering like why there's not as much unity among the price.
It's funny you asked that. Before we started recording this, Donut, we were actually, all three of us were talking about that.
Yeah, so part of it is that's something that will go away as more liquidity comes into the system. That's a byproduct of crypto still being relatively new. If you look at traditional capital markets like the U.S. stock market, the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, they do not have any of those issues. There's no way you can arbitrage, 1.5%, 2%, 3%, 4%, some of the ridiculous numbers you see in crypto. So as more liquidity comes into the system, that's really going to go away. So that's something that you're really going to see less of. And that's probably going to start pretty soon as we start to see institutional money come in, like you were saying, with the CME futures.
Another thing, too, is you got to look at the exchanges that are leading the way. For the most part, they're cash exchanges, right? So Coinbase, GDAX, you can directly deposit cash from your bank account. Whereas if we're looking at Bitfinex, they're kind of trying to get it set up again. They got the euro now, but regardless, it's kind of just a sketchy process to go through. So, they're kind of all about that US dollar tether, right? So when it comes down to just, actual cash hitting an exchange, which is really where the new money is kind of flowing in, that's where we're going to see, Coinbase, GDAX, and that's why they got such a premium at times, right?
That makes sense?
Interesting. Yeah.
What else?
All right, so right now I keep the majority of my coins on exchanges, actually.
Okay.
And I was wondering, what's the best way to not do that, but still have it be as convenient as possible to move stuff around?
So here's the thing I would say. Before I got a hardware wallet, I thought it was going to be extremely inconvenient, and it's really not. It's super easy to set up. You do not have to be that technically savvy. I'm 28, so I'm kind of around this age. I'm like pretty tech savvy, but it's really not the sort of thing that you have to be if you can operate your Coinbase wallet, you can operate a Trezor or a Ledger Nano S or something like that. So a Ledger is going to hold a little bit more of a variety of coins. I like the UI of the Trezor a little bit better. So that's kind of preference. They're both good. It's really not difficult to set up. It's not difficult to bring your coins in and out of it. So just get one. I think if you're holding the type of coins that can be stored on a hardware wallet, then it really makes all the sense in the world.
And I'll echo that, Killer. It seems the general consensus on crypto Twitter is that the UI of the Trezor is better, but the abundance of, or the different variety on the Ledger Nano is what people I think seem to flock to. That's what I have. So
yeah, I use the Nano S and I love it. No issues. And I know even when I leave coins on there, if I say I decide in the split moment, okay, I want to sell these, it doesn't typically take me long to get them off of there and onto an exchange. Maybe, depending on obviously the blockchain and how the transactions are looking. Ethereum this week was kind of
and honestly, man, it takes me like a minute to go grab my Trezor or whatever out of where they are. And the thing is, the transactions from them are probably quicker than the average Coinbase transaction anyway. So it's not like it's even any slower. So you're really not sacrificing anything and you're gaining a lot of security with it. Because the thing is, you cannot trust these exchanges. I mean, we have not had an exchange really blow up in a big way in quite some time.
Sketching me out too.
And so it's not really at the forefront of everybody's mind, but these things happen quite frequently in crypto. And some of these exchanges are sketchy as shit.
You know,
Yo, and look, and even if I know when I first started, I thought, okay, I only have, X dollars in here. It's not really worth buying a ledger. Well, it is, trust me. Any amount of money that you have on there, you can grow it and turn it into something. And if you continually get hacked or whatever and lose it, you're going to be up shit creek. So don't even let that be an issue when you are deciding. I'd say just still get one.
And it's good to have wallets, kind of, even having a desktop wallet to use as, a bit of a hot wallet. So it's just for, quick in and out moving kind of things. I like to use a variety of things, so I'm not just stuck to the hardware wallet, but, when it comes down to my main security, that is where I go to, right? But I don't like leaving money on exchanges and, kind of like what we're talking about. It's just it's a big risk,
All right, so I'll pick one of those up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I don't know, just from my perspective, I'm not really sure, it seems so impractical, but you guys said that you thought that way at first, so.
Yeah, I really did. I didn't get one until recently, which, is partially my fault. I should have had one a lot sooner with how long I've kind of been doing this, but, I'm a terrible procrastinator. But I just got one, and I couldn't be happier with it, It's actually been...
And the thing is, too, it's like, before I got one, I thought you had to operate the whole thing on the USB stick. Yeah. And I'm like, this is going to be the biggest pain in the ass. I like Coinbase. It's big, it's friendly, it's bright, it's super easy, which it is. And I think it's pretty secure. But you have this really good interface that you open just on your web browser, with these hardware wallets. So it's really just like being on Coinbase. It's a lot more secure, though. And so I really think it's the way to go. It's super easy to use. So don't worry about that.
All right. I'll move on to my next question. So there's been a lot of stuff in the press recently about how much energy Bitcoin mining takes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just wondering, what road does that lead down?
That's a really good question, and that's something I know I've thought about a few times, and I don't know if it's something that's necessarily going to be a good thing down the road, but we'll see, right? The miners right now, I don't know the exact statistics on it, but they're using, more power than certain countries, right? Combined, it's just ridiculous right now. So, there's going to be some some issues raised over it. Probably it's going to be some government officials, doing what.
So I think a couple things. I think if you take a look at a broad perspective, I mean, as energy becomes more efficient in general, it's going to kind of reduce that problem in a big way. And then in addition, they're also working in changes to the software, which I think are making it more efficient. And then if you take a look at the other side of things, proof of stake, where you don't really have that issue nearly in any way. That's
becoming a more and more, kind of transition thing where we're seeing more coins
either
get into that.
Proof of stake or hybrid.
Yeah.
It just seems like an excuse to push regulations on it.
Yeah, I completely agree. It is, it is kind of an issue, and it's something, we have to watch because, what do people like to do when they're in a government office? Well, they want to raise an issue about something just to get their name on something so they can seem like they're important at the moment, right? Well, this seems like one of those ideal opportunities for one of those individuals if they wanted to do such, right? They want to make an issue. Well, they have an opportunity to make an issue out of it if they want to. It's one of those things. I don't want to make too many predictions because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. And nobody really does for sure, right? But you just kind of got to watch it. You got to be aware of that existing risk potential. But I think, kind of like what Killer said, as the space grows more, I think we could see that become less of an issue. So.
Sweet. All right, so I've been talking about crypto among my friends for a long time, and they have recently asked me if they should buy Bitcoin or not. I always tell them, don't invest money, you can't lose, but I don't want to tell them to invest and the price drops.
Yeah.
I was like, what should I tell them so they're the most informed about like
All right,
what could possibly
here's what I would
happen.
answer
Buy
that.
Lux coin.
So, I mean, yeah, well, so pretty much everybody I've told to buy crypto has said the same thing at some point, like a month down the line. I should have started with more. And I don't know if that's going to necessarily be true in the future. I think it probably will continue to be true. And I look at it this way. Most people who are investing in crypto are already pretty young. With that in mind, your investment time horizon really should be bare minimum like 10 years, you know? And with that in mind as well, I mean, your returns in crypto are going to be good no matter if you buy in now, a year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now. It doesn't matter, really. I mean, it'll matter a little bit, but it's not the most important thing. And if you go crazy trying to time everything, you're probably going to miss out on some gains that you would have gotten if you just kind of plunged in a little bit more head first. So I really think that, you know, you shouldn't take too much risk, but people often make the mistake, honestly, of not taking enough risk too, especially when you're young. That's the time to really take chances on this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sure.
I mean, your time horizon should be longer if you're younger, which you probably are, again, if you're investing in crypto. So, I mean, I would just buy in and not overthink it too much.
Yeah, here's what I always tell people too that ask me. I say, you know, it's Bitcoin and Ethereum are probably your two safest investments to throw some money at, but realize that it's very volatile, so it can go up, it can go down rather quickly. You know, you do you. I'm not going to tell you when to get in or anything because I don't want that burden on me of, you know, they bought in at $19,000 on Coinbase and today we're at 15,000 and they're telling me that they're down whatever percent. So I just tell them to really kind of focus in on doing their own research themselves. Maybe just buying in and just sitting on it for a long time is kind of what I tell them to do. And
yeah. One of my things is, you know, just kind of make sure you're aware of the type of individual you're dealing with, right? Now, I have some friends who are trying to get into it right now, actually, which, you know, I find kind of crazy, but at the same time, they've been watching it and now they want to go natural human tendencies, right? So, you know, I kind of lay it down clear to them and they are fully understanding, right? They get the risks, but they're okay with it. But then again, you know, I had another guy, an acquaintance I used to be friends with, and I made a tweet about this a couple of weeks back, and, you know, I helped him get into Bitcoin when it was a lot cheaper, and, you know, I guess, and this was my mistake because I should have realized, the character of the individual, you know, as soon as the price started to drop a little bit, he was, you know, very quick to try to, you know, point a finger and say, oh, this is your fault. So, you know, make sure you know, understand the character of the person, right? If they're just someone that you know, likes to blame things on everybody else, I probably wouldn't even talk to them to begin with, but, you know, just understand the character because everybody's kind of different when it comes to their money on the line. Mm-hmm. And as much as they'll say, oh yeah, don't worry, I know it's on me. Yeah, people like to have a finger to point when things don't go their way at times, right?
Yeah, it's just like, because I don't know that much about it, I only have like a vague guess of what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
So I just don't feel comfortable like giving advice on it.
Well, yeah, and that's been my thing too.
So
you know, like my buddies, they're like, you know, is Bitcoin going to keep going up? And I'm like, well, okay, first off, go look at the chart. Go look at what it's done this year. If you're going to ask me if it's going to keep going up, I don't know. You know, and I don't think anybody knows at this point. Yeah, sure. You know, it's got momentum right now, and sure, I see a picture where it keeps going up. I can also see a situation where it can start going down, right? So anyone who says they know what Bitcoin's going to do right now, I think maybe they're just kind of full of shit at times. But, you know, it's tough right now. So, and trying to help somebody who's getting into it, that's really tough because at this point in time, nobody knows really.
Yeah, short term, nobody knows. That's a great point. But I would say this to people, that there's enough money in crypto as a whole that it's here to stay. Yeah. You know, it's not going away. There's enough money involved. There's enough of a vested interest with some really important people in the space that it's not going away long term. Mm-hmm. So if you're bullish on it longer term with that in mind, I mean, yeah, you might go down 30, 40, 50% in, you know, the near term, which is a big drawdown and it sucks, obviously, but it's the type of fluctuations you have to accept if you're going to get the really, really, really good term, like long-term returns. Absolutely. So it just kind of comes with the territory, risk and reward.
All right. So next topic I have is Ripple on Coinbase. I think a few months ago, a month ago or whatever, someone told me they were going to put Ripple on Coinbase. So I bought it, and it did nothing again. And I just, I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
I think we all did that. Ripple can choke on your dick, but
I remember talking about that in the pod, guys. We were like, guys, is Ripple going to be the Palm Beach Pump, whatever, Palm Beach Confidential, whatever that fucking bullshit newsletter was? It was like, it was perfect timing with that conference with Bernanke, that Palm Beach Confidential pump, the Coinbase rumor. It was like Ripple was just like having its 15 minutes of fame there for a second. As far as, I think it's pretty likely it's going to be on Coinbase. I have no idea, to be honest.
It's one of the biggest coins.
Yeah.
I think it's as likely as any.
I think out of all the altcoins it probably has the best chance of getting listed. But on a side note, does Palm Beach Confidential, whatever, not sound like a porno on Cinemax?
Yeah, 100%. Like an 80s movie.
Right.
I've never even heard about them until, maybe a month ago?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're just like the talk of the crypto Twitter, and it's just like, what the hell? Where did they come from?
Now I see them everywhere. I know. I can't believe I'd never heard of them before either. And apparently there's some big pump group. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Stupid.
Yeah.
They didn't pump shit either, did they?
No.
I don't think they even announced anything. There was zero pump.
It was the biggest letdown conference.
Join pump groups.
Yeah.
All right, so my next one is some advice for doing my own research, because right now I find it pretty difficult trying to find stuff beyond the chart and market cap. Yeah. And so my strategy thus far has been just refreshing Twitter, waiting for people to say stuff, and then it's been working, but I'm afraid Twitter, it won't work for much longer. So I don't know. Because
Twitter is really one of your best resources. Crypto Twitter is on top of things. When it comes down to getting things quickly, crypto Twitter is really the place to be. I never thought I'd be involved in a market that was like that, but yeah, when it comes down to getting news quick and fairly reliable news, sometimes, there's FUD that floats around, but, you figure out which accounts are good to follow for news, and yeah, you can get really good stuff on there.
And I would say this technical analysis still works pretty well in crypto. So I really think that's a good thing to use still in the markets. It's inefficient enough where that stuff really can be effective and help you get good entry points and exit points and stuff like that. So I would say learn about technical analysis, some good resources to do that. You can go to, I think it's stockcharts.com, chart school, or something like that, which is good. Baby Pips is another one a lot of people talk about. And I would say just try to think try to take a psychological approach to the markets too. Think about what other people are going to do, and try to react to that, and kind of take a look at it, not just on a surface level what you would do, but kind of keep in mind that what you would do is probably what most people would do because everyone thinks they're above average, but most people are pretty close to the average, just naturally, mathematically. So keep that in mind, and then try to kind of respond to that, take it a step further.
Yeah, and I guess for looking for more info, Bitcoin Talk is typically a good place. Coins will have their own threads, but again, it can be a bit of a shit circus on there. You get a lot of trolls who just want to spread garbage. Reddit, again, I've used Reddit before. I'm not a big Redditor though, so I don't really go on there a whole lot for info, but I know when I first got into crypto, I was on there a lot because there's a lot of pages on there and a lot of activity. I guess the one thing that kind of sucks is there's some fair amount of censorship. Moderators on there can get a little out of control.
Yeah, the best, I think the best crypto Reddit is probably ETH Trader, ETH Trader. Yeah. If you're not aware of it already, that's probably the most active one. It has a daily discussion that gets 3,000 comments a day. So, that's a good one to check out.
Otherwise, crypto Twitter, that's your best place to be.
Yeah, and there's a formula. I think someone brought it up in the pod one time that, if you're looking for a cash tag, you can enter all this other shit after it, and it gets all the pump groups and all the free shit out of it too. That helps a lot.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I can send it to you, don't it?
All right, sweet. All right, I've got 2 more questions. All right, so this one, they're more broad. I don't really know what to call it, but I think mindfulness, like when you're handling a decent amount of money, like how do you
controlling yourself kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think you get to a point where, for me, you're always going to look at the number, right? You're going to see the total value of your portfolio, but, it gets to a point where it stops being this necessary, say like a dollar value, and it turns more, I guess, into like ammo, right? It's like poker chips. That's the way you kind of got to look at it, right? So, I think there was a scene on Billions where, that the mind doctor there is pumping up one of the traders, and she says, you're a sniper, and that capital, that's your bullets. So and I think, looking at it in that sense, it's good. And once you take out that whole, how much this is, and holy crap, this can be so much money, and that can be really overwhelming for somebody. And that can really be quite a downfall when you let it be that overwhelming. So you kind of have to have this almost desensitized approach to it, which is kind of contradicting in a sense because, we need money to live and we don't want to lose money, but you got to be very detached to it in a sense, right?
Yeah, emotions are a bad thing in investing. They make you do stupid things. They make you sell when things go down. They make you buy when things go up, which, actually, now that I think about it, momentum is a really good strategy, so those aren't always dumb. But in general, it's not a great thing. So try to detach, like Prince said, in a way. I would also say, in terms of like securing a lot of money, just have security and faith in your process. Know that you're doing the right things, going back to having a hardware wallet. Knowing that you're securing your hardware wallet in a good place where it's not going to get taken. Know that you're doing the right things online, not downloading things, not clicking random links that are going to give you a virus or a keylogger where somebody's going to steal your keys. Stuff like that, having separate devices that are secure, that you only use for crypto-related stuff. I think that's a pretty good way to go. And you really do have to take these steps. And I know these sound like kind of a lot of steps for a lot of people, but it's not as hard as you think, and this stuff's important. Yeah. So I would say don't put off doing that stuff.
Absolutely.
And don't trust anybody.
Good advice. Yeah. All right, so here's the last one. Obviously, people were initially interested in crypto to gain independence and financial independence in order to do other things in their lives. And I was wondering what that looks like for you guys. I know I want to be independent so I can travel, I can experience different things, not be pinned down to one
for sure
9-to-5 job or something like that.
So my thing, I'll start here. I got into crypto because I went to a private college and got my master's through a private college like a fucking idiot. My wife has some student loan debt too. So, my thing was I didn't want to sit and pay on it for 10 years or 20 years, however long we have it. So I got into crypto wanting to pay off debt and be debt free so that my family can have, the life that we live. So that's really the life that we want. Sorry. So that's the motivation for me. Eventually it'd be nice to be in crypto full time. I don't know how long that would take, but I think it's definitely with talking with Donnie on our last podcast, I think it really throws you over to that next level when you are able to concentrate on crypto full time. The gains you can really see the gains more than when you are working 8 to 5.
Yeah, and it's just like Donnie talked about, it's the motivating factor is not having to go to a job and be there 8 or 9 to 5. I mean, vast majority of every single day, having to listen to people every single day. That's a big thing. Just if you can cut that out and make a living doing something that A, takes less of your time, and B, that you enjoy more, that's huge. You'll have a lot more free time. Time is the most valuable resource in the entire world. Nobody can get more of it. So you got to maximize every single day you have. And I know that sounds like a little bit dramatic and whatever, but it's true. And you realize that more the older you get too. So I think that's just the biggest motivating factor for me, is just wanting to maximize every single day I have here. And that's kind of what drives me in terms of and crypto kind of makes that possible. So,
for me, I never got into crypto with any sights on actually making any serious money. I guess crypto, it kind of just fell that way, this bull market. But, I'm just a trader, so I go where the money might be. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's crypto, you gotta love it. So, don't really have much to say on that, but.
Because we said it all for you.
Yeah, you pretty much did. You guys covered it pretty well.
Awesome. Well, that's all I got.
All right, so we're going to do, normally we do bearish bullish here, but we're going to mix it up a little bit since we kind of turned the ball here. I actually just thought of this, so hopefully this doesn't go over like shit. We're going to do it over under, okay? So I'm going to give 4 cryptocurrency things, and you guys are all going to say whether you think it finishes over or under this by year end, okay?
All right.
Questions?
Okay. Are you giving us prices?
No.
You want current prices?
I don't know. Do I got to pull up charts here?
No, I'll do everything for you, like I always do. Hey, and this segment is sponsored by Logo Billy. So if you're looking for a logo designer who can help brand your project beautifully, you should look at contacting him by going to logo-billy.com or billy-rose.com. So shout out to you, Logo Billy.
Great stuff. Check it out.
And side note, he helped us on a project and it does good shit. So, all right, the first one, Bitcoin, currently at 14,652. Will it be over or under 20,000 at year end?
Year end? Frig.
December 31.
I'll go over.
Oh, yeah, I'll go over.
What about you, Donut?
I'll say over as well.
I'm going to say under. It's going to finish in the year at 19,500.
I was thinking about going under too, but I have no friggin' clue.
Yeah, I was on the fence.
I'm too optimistic.
That's all right. All right.
I'd love to see it be
That's
over.
a good thing. It's better than the alternative.
Send it positive vibes. Next one, Ethereum, currently at 472. Will it be over or under 500?
Oh, definitely over. I'm super bullish on this, actually, right now.
Prince?
Yeah, I answered that. Well, I guess you guys didn't hear me. I'm over for sure. I like Ethereum as much as people hate it. I still like it. And when it comes to money flowing in, Ethereum is one of the other first places that people are going to go if they're not going to Bitcoin. So.
Yeah, and it's already creeping near 500.
Yeah.
And it's like Ethereum is kind of taking a back seat with all the attention that Bitcoin's been getting. But it's been slowly grinding higher, breaking out to new highs. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go with over. It has slight momentum, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Next up, Litecoin, currently at 149. Will it be over or under 150?
Over.
Under.
Ooh,
definitely under, Prince. Sorry.
See, I'm going over because, again, I'm going with, money coming into the markets. Litecoin, again, is another one of those options through Coinbase. So I'm going over.
That is a good point, and it has a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been like a huge fan of Litecoin, so maybe I'm just biased
I'm the same way. I've barely ever even made anything off of Litecoin's moves, which is kind of embarrassing because it's done some pretty ridiculous moves because I'm just really not a Litecoin guy. But, I got a lot of respect for Charlie Lee there, the lead dev, the founder of it, and I think he does a really good job. Even just dealing kind of in the public, stuff like that, and giving interviews. So I think him all on his own.
He does a great job pumping it lately. That's for sure.
And that plays a factor, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie's actually one of the bigger stealth shillers, and nobody really gives him a shill reputation, but he's up there with Shilbert, honestly. He just does it more sneakily. Shilbert's just blatant. Just buy ETC. We're probably going to make an ETF, maybe.
Well, Charlie has a ton of respect from the community, right? And he just
he's a good
every
dude.
bit of it. So, for sure. People love him. They got a good community. They got a really good community.
Okay, last one. Vertcoin, currently at $8.27. Will it be over or under 1,000? Just kidding. $10.
Over. What did you give? What figure?
$10.
Oh, we're going 10. That's it? You don't want to go 20 or 50? We were already going 1,000 at one point.
You hear him go 1,000?
It will be over 1,000. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm going to go with over because I own some.
Attaboy. I saw your last tweet. Hashtag VTC, baby.
You know, I don't own any.
Yeah, that's why you're on here.
But
you have all of our bags.
Yeah, he really does.
Lux, VTC.
I think it'll be over. You know, Vert, that's a really good. Fundamentally, the coin's awesome, and it's been getting some momentum lately. So, you know, I think it goes over. I don't think $10 is too hard for it.
Killer, I'm really wondering if our $1,000 target is a little low. All right, what's chapping your guys' ass this week? Anything?
All right, I got something in general. Okay, people who drive and who are unaware of what's happening right behind them. Like people who just take a turn like obscenely slow, like when you're trapped in the intersection or something. It's like the world is not just what's in front of you. Like feel free to glance in that rearview mirror once every 5 hours.
Mine is semi-drivers.
Shit pisses me off so much.
They just change lanes right on top of me. And it's not like I'm driving a little car. You know, I'm in a truck.
We could sit and talk about driving all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Being on the roads chaps my ass.
I have finals this week.
Oh, I feel you, man. I just finished the semester up yesterday and got exams coming up this week. Fucking not excited for them.
You want to know what's chapping my ass, guys?
Yeah, okay, Dale. Enlighten us.
So I'm a big Duke basketball fan. You know, fuck you if you're not. So they lost, obviously, today. This is Saturday. We're recording this to Boston College. And the number of text messages that I get when they lose is ridiculous. Yes, they lost. They're 10-1 now. Did you see me on those 10 victories texting you saying, hey, did you see the Duke game? No. So shut your fucking mouth and don't text me.
I don't even pay attention to the college basketball, but I'm going to start watching, and whenever they lose, I'm just going to text you.
I'd appreciate that. Any pod highlights that we have to talk about?
Oh, I don't got any.
Dude, I've been so busy this week. I've just been kind of like ducking in and out, to be honest.
I was top 3 for the longest time, and now I don't even know if I'm in top 10.
I was in first spot in the fantasy pod trading game. I think I might have slipped. I haven't checked it in a few days.
Here, I'll check it right now.
I hate that, honestly. I don't hate it. I just don't get it.
We need to get some leverage going, and I always lose. Thing.
Yeah, exactly. If I can go 100 times, then I have a shot. Just take a chance on the bottom.
We need to get Donut in there, I think, after today.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So the pod is our Telegram group that Killer started a month or so ago, and a lot of heavy hitters in there.
Good folks.
Yeah, it's like a lot of good traders, a lot of good advice. It's like super active. We get almost 5,000 messages a day now, actually.
Can't even keep up.
Wow.
Prince, you're in second. Empty's back in first.
Fuck.
All right, well, that'll wrap things up for Crypto Street Podcast today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, listening. Thank you, Prince and Killer, for being here. And Donut Boy, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you learned some things today. And, as always.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Questions were good. It was fun.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, beautiful day in LA. Everybody enjoy your weekend, or you'll probably hear this on Monday or Tuesday.
Hopefully you had a good weekend then.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see y'all later.
Remember, tip your waitress.